630 WMAL.
WMAL.
Morning, WMAL News Time, 6:59. I'm Andy Parks.
I'm Fred Grandy. Coming up on the Grandy and Andy Morning Show, the president lifts the ban on stem cell research. Is that removing politics from science or ramming it down our throats? We'll talk about it.
Into the 630 WMAL Newsroom, the latest on changing Fairfax County school start times coming up.
Tuesday, March 10th, 2009.
He is saying he's doing this for science to keep politics out of it. He is incorporating politics into it. He's essentially saying human life is not as important as scientific research. That's essentially what he's saying.
Is he right in saying that 59% of America wants this?
Well, he may be right, but I mean, is that what we're doing now? We're reading polls and saying, okay, 59%.
Hello?
All right, okay. I'm just telling you, I think it's wrong. But
it's one of those things that you're either on one side or the other, and you're never going to convince the other side of your side. You either believe one thing or the other.
All right, let me ask you this: Is there a talker in why is the Democratic administration so thin-skinned? Yeah, I heard some of that.
All right, that's good. I like that. Are they too thin-skinned?
I think there's a lot of potential good talkers out there.
Well, I think the Muslim woman.
Yeah,
were her rights abridged, or does the bank have a policy? Have a right to enforce its policy.
USA Today had a story about whether or not people are struggling or not, the word specifically being struggling, and saying that some worry that the American dream is now in peril and their children won't succeed more than they have.
You were told time and time again, you work hard, you do the right things, and you'll be well rewarded. And a lot of people just don't see that anymore. Why should you work hard? Why should you do the right things if those who did the wrong things and didn't work hard are being rewarded as well?
That's assuming all those guys on Wall Street that bilked their investors were not working hard at bilking out their investors. These guys put in a lot of hours to pull those scams off. Yeah. That's not something you just do in your spare time.
Okay.
But there could be something to that, seriously. There could be are you struggling? Are you worried about the American dream? Are you worried that your children are not going to succeed?
Is the American dream
dying?
Dead? Yeah.
Is it dead? Is it dying?
Is it dying?
Because I think if Ann feels as though,
Yeah. Yeah, because if we can get people in your demo to call and say, to agree with you, then that just, that sets it off.
You want to hold that for 7:40?
Yeah, let's do that.
Do the Muslim headscarf.
All right, so number one is, why is the Obama administration so thin-skinned?
Yes.
So thin-skinned.
And then 6:40 we'll hold the Muslim headscarf thing, or maybe move this up. Depending.
Yeah.
Okay.
WMAL News Time, 7:11.
No shirt, no shoes, no ties.
At Navy Federal Credit Union, the policy is now no hats, no hoods, no sunglasses. And it didn't take long for there to be a problem. A Muslim woman was asked to leave her place in line at a branch in southern Maryland the other day, and she had to be served in the back room because the headscarf she wore for religious reasons violated the bank's new no hats, hoods, or sunglasses policy.
Would you require those of other faiths to remove items? Well, yarmulke comes to mind.
Exactly, sure. Or a turban if you're a Sikh. I mean, let's be honest. There's a lot of headwear that qualifies as a legitimate religious garment. And
look, I understand the bank's concern. You want to identify someone's going to commit a crime. You don't want somebody walking in there with a hat pulled down over their head and sunglasses on and a fake beard.
Yeah, but is that the same as wearing a hijab? See, that's the difference.
It's important to point out that she wasn't denied access to the bank. She just had to go into the back room and deal with the employee of the bank.
No, that's true.
Okay, now let me argue that. I'm being devil's advocate. It's important to point out that when African Americans got on buses in the early 50s, they were not denied seating. They just had to sit in the back. Unless there were white people sitting back there, and then they had to stand, okay? So that ain't going to feed the bulldog if you are advocating for religious rights.
630 WMAL.
WMAL.
Morning, WMAL News Time, 7:59. I'm Andy Parks.
I'm Fred Grandy. Coming up on the Grandy and Andy Morning Show, the American Dream. Does it need downsizing too? We'll talk about it at 8:08. Yay!